gun, and they pull the hood off, and Ferry says, like, can he keep that eye closed? He said, you know, if he can't, I'll shoot him right now. And so I don't know what they were raving about, but they draped me over the gun, and what I'd been programmed to do before this device in Dr. Earnshaw's office was when someone yelled, "Now," I pulled the trigger, period.
Yeah.
And so I looked through the gun sight, and they said, "Can you see the squirrel with JFK's head and in a little screen?" And I said yes, and either my dad or David Perry yelled, "Now," and my finger just pulled back on the trigger. Then what I did was I threw myself on the floor to the right. This got us in a lot of trouble, and I hit the rifle barrel with the palm of my hand. I meant to push it out the window. And so the thing is that if that Mannlicher Carcano is the actual weapon that was used, and that unidentified palm print on the rifle butt is mine, and it was put there for that reason, because I tried to push it out the window. And so...
because it was the gun used.
Well, you see, I threw myself on the floor, and I tried to push it out the window, and Ferry jumps on the damn thing, and he keeps firing. And then my dad freaks. My dad says, "Don't shoot." And my dad is a terrible mimic and parrot, you know, and he's just going to say right back to Ferry, like what Ferry said to me.
Yeah.
And he said, "Don't shoot Jackie, Ferry. Don't shoot Jackie, or I'll kill you right now." And but Ferry is firing, and I can hear other fires. I can hear other shots ringing out from the street. And Ferry says, "Good men." He says, "Back up." He said, "They could have left me hanging, but they didn't." He says, "Back up, good men. They could have left me hanging, but they didn't." Yeah.
That's
I mean, Ferry was, Ferry
so
was such a great military man, and he was loyal to those guys to the day that he died. You know, that had backed him up and continuing firing because they knew they could have just goofed right off, you know, and not done anything. Yeah. And Ferry took care of the whole goddamn thing. Shot both of them, you know, and all that. He could have got, you know, done the whole thing.
Yeah.
And nobody else had to do anything, but they all chimed in, and Ferry was loyal, and he knew they'd all be killed, and he knew he'd be killed. He knew that. That was the kind of a military man that he was. Yeah.
That's
and
insane.
yeah. He was amazing. So, but anyway.
Amazing in what sense?
Yeah, like in every sense. But anyway.
In every sense.
Yeah. Where are the cigarettes, baby?
Oh, they're right here.
Yeah. So anyway. Oh yeah. So, like, they had me, I think Ferry, you see, I know Ferry had his, like, fucking cap on. He's like, you know, airline captain, whatever it is, you know, cap on, like, the uniform and all that.
Yeah.
And I think he rolled me up in the box in the Texas School Book Bazaar building up to the 6th floor. And I think there was enough people that were on the lookout for him, you know, help him out. And he looked really official, you know, in that little airline uniform and everything. And she, like, okay, we're up there, and like, you know, they're ordering me not to look out the window.
Yeah.
You know, and so I mean, they're for sure.
Yeah.
And like, then they try it out. They let me look, and they say, "Don't look at the man we just shot," and I don't, and I can only look at the crowd, you know. And I think it's like, oh yeah. See, okay, at some point another guy comes in. He's like got a suit on and all that, and he says like, "Did everything go all right?" And Ferry says, "Yeah, like Bill lost his head and all that," and they're like waiting. For something, and somebody goes, Ferry goes like, "There's the signal," and we like split, you know, and so it's me, my dad, and Ferry. We take one of these like side stairwells down to the 2nd floor.
Yeah.
And like Lee Oswald is there, and he's mopping up with a broom, with one of those push brooms and all that. And Ferry gets into the thing, you know, with him and shoves him in the chest and says, "We're all through with you," and all that. and
He just like ambushed him like that.
well, yeah, like
That's
for sure,
exactly what happened.
yeah.
Wow.
And
Fuck.
Lee doesn't know yet that the president's been shot, and
He doesn't
no,
even
no, he
know?
doesn't know, no, because people are running past us. While Ferry is like confronting Lee Oswald, Ferry probably prevented
He's
him
just
from finding
mopping
out.
the fucking floor,
He's pushing it
and
with a
then
broom,
bam.
yeah. With a broom, yeah. So one of those push button. Anyway, so we get out in the we go back in the stairwell again, and that's when I try to run again, and Ferry yells, okay, I swear to God, I was so drugged up that
Yeah.
I actually thought I could get away with just doing a happy run down the stairs. Yeah. I'll do a happy run, look at me, I'm feeling great. And then first door bang, I'm out of it, and so, they, yeah, Ferry ran after me and injected me again and all.
Yeah.
And so, like, I
Did you-
know they
did
put
you-
me in a box to fly me back again.
Again.
Yeah. And so, and the thing is that they tell me when they put that if they get okay, this is probably like to terrorize me. They did this stuff a lot. That if they get the orders, they're going to jettison me. That's why they put me in like flying boxcar.
Mhm.
I'm in a box going back in a flying boxcar,
Crazy.
and the pilot is not Ferry. It's somebody else.
Uh-huh.
Ferry is staying there in
Yeah.
Dallas. He tells us he's staying there in Dallas. Pilot says it's not Ferry, and so yeah, they're saying that they're going to like jettison me. So the next thing I remember, I'm in front of Dr. Earnshaw, and he's
So you're
saying,
completely terrified.
"Oh yeah."
In the
And
box.
so for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm drugged, and
Yeah.
all that. They drugged me again,
Uh-huh.
coming out, and all that. So, but there's some of the fucking terrorists,
Yeah.
sinks through and all.
Uh-huh.
So, oh yeah. Next thing I remember, I'm in front of Earnshaw, and Earnshaw is saying, we're going to take you back to school. Walk as fast as you can, and the faster you will walk, the quicker you'll forget this. And I do. So
Yeah.
that was, and I didn't remember it for years later. Then I wrote it down in Padurella, and it's all over the internet. Made me a comic book star again. And they said, yeah. And the thing is that nobody accepts this as factual.
Mhm.
The thing is that if I tell it, if they find out about it all, I have to apologize for it, as it were, and go on to say that it made me a comic book star again. It did. It meant that I had a new aardvark story out by Dave Sim, Actor Comics Presents. They're doing, I'm getting write-ups in the fan press.
Yeah.
My stuff is being reprinted also,
Mhm.
but that's rather
Yeah.
incidental. It doesn't relate to my own promotion of my work. It just was inevitable that now there's creepy and eerie volumes coming out,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they've reached the point now. I think that they've already reached the point where they're reprinting my stories in the volumes. Supposed to be, Vampirella volume, same way.
Yeah.
I was in number 5, but that's been reprinted, and I think I have. I know they're reprinting some House of Mystery stuff from DC. I did some stories there too. I think they're going to reprint those at some point if they haven't already, because they're bringing out collections of them also. Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got.